Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is IBK, Miss Temple, Underwear Doctor, whichever name you want to call me, I will answer you. Welcome back to my channel. If you're just tuning in, thank you so much for joining us. I am Miss Temple. I'm a teacher. I talk about underwear, education, parenting, and lifestyle, and I'm certain that you're going to learn a whole lot from this video. So please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment at the end of the video, and of course share with everyone and everyone. Thank you for joining us, guys. If there is any background noise you're hearing, I'm so sorry about it. It is actually hot and I needed to put on the fan. Yes, so thank you. So let's just get right into it. Growing up, I've always wanted to be a doctor. So if you see me now, I'm loud about teaching, about teachers, about children. It's not like it's something I've always desired to do. No, I've always wanted to be a doctor. So much so that when I wanted to cross to the senior secondary school, here in Nigeria, the high school, the secondary school is divided into two parts. We have the junior secondary and the senior secondary. So when I wanted to cross, of course, I wanted to be a doctor, so automatically I should be in the science class. I didn't pass one subject, a science subject, integrated science. I cried so much. I'm like, how am I ever going to be a doctor if I'm not in the science class? It was that bad. But thankfully, I got into the science class anyway, since it was just one and it can pass, you know. So I got into science class and I started to do what I have to do. In all of this, I still found myself drafting towards children. You know, you see me relate with them very well. You know, when we see, I carry them, I teach them, you know, buy things for them. And I remember I kind of started more like a fellowship at home, children's fellowship at my parents' house then. So children from the neighborhood, they will come to my house, I would teach them. That is every Sunday after service, they will come. I even saved up so that I can buy biscuits for them, I can buy juice for them. It was that serious. Don't forget, I still wanted to be a doctor. Yeah, so they will come. In fact, I will go to some houses. I don't know them. I will go to their houses. I will tell them this is what I do. I teach children. Will you allow your children to come to my house? And you know, parents released their children to me. They trusted me with their children, so they will come from all over every Sunday. But it had to stop because of school. I had to, you know, further my education. I remember that even before I got into the tertiary institution, I got a job. Yes, I got a teaching job in a school that is not so far from the house. Yes, that was where my official teaching journey started. Yes, I taught the reception class. Some of them could not even talk at that time. They couldn't talk well. So I taught them. I did it with all joy. I was paid 4,000 naira. My first salary ever. Yes. Oh my god, it's so funny. You know, all those memories. When I remember, sometimes I just laugh. I was paid 4,000 naira. I started working at a very young age anyway. So I did that. I was an assistant teacher to somebody there. So I taught the children. You know, myself and the children, we related so well. We could connect. Yes, the desire to be a doctor was still there. Don't forget, it was still there. But I just find myself doing things that has to do with children, doing things that are children focused, or children, give it any name you want to call it. So at that time, I concluded that I was even going to be a pediatrician, you know, a doctor that takes care of children, because of my love and desire for children. You see what did you see? Are you plotting the dots already from being a doctor? Of course, there was no focus. I just wanted to be a doctor, all right? But as time goes on, I told myself that I was going to be a pediatrician, doctor that takes care of children. So I wrote the exam to that will take me to college. Yes, that is the university here in Nigeria, but I didn't do so well. Hey, oh my God, it is such a very funny experience. Anyway, it's all in the past now, and I'm still going to talk about it later. All right, so I had to look for a second option since I didn't pass the exam to admit me into the university. So I got into poly, that is, yeah, polytechnic. Yes, I studied agric technology. Sorry, I studied agric technology in polytechnic, and even there, I was still teaching. Yes, I still got jobs of home lessons, tutorials and all of that. So I was working and schooling at the same time in polytechnic. So when I was done with that, I got a job. I got another job immediately after my polytechnic. Then, of course, what kind of job? Teaching. Yes, not because I could not do other things. No, I could do other things. In fact, I'm a very hardworking lady. Yes. I'm very hardworking. So not because there are no other jobs to do, but that's the only thing I really know how to do. It comes with ease for me. I teach without struggle. And I would like to say this before I continue. What you are meant to do, what God has really called you to do, you won't struggle with it. Yes, you won't. We want to do other things, and that is not God's plan for us. You just find yourself struggling, there is no joy doing it. So it just comes with ease. I do it like yeah. So immediately after polytechnic, then it was a period of 2 years. Immediately after that, I got another job. I learned a lot from there as well. Not too long, I got another job in another school. That was where I really learned everything. It was a lot of sacrifice anyway. Sometimes I cried, what is it? Am I doing more than teaching? That the workload has to be this much. So if there is anybody out there talking down on teaching, in fact, I will just come after you. I'm just going to come after you, because it is not beans. So I just look at people when they talk low of teaching, when they talk about teaching like it is what is it not just to stand and teach? I just look at you like, okay, come and teach now. So it is not beans at all. Trust me. Of course, I enjoy doing it. I do it, and I'm not complaining. Yeah, let's just put it that way. Not complaining. So I really learned a lot from there. I spent a period of 2 years or 1.5, I can't really remember. So I learned a lot from there. I was already, in fact, that gave me like an assurance that, Temple, this is what you're called to do. This is what you're meant to do. I get inspired. Like, I just find myself doing things that are not normal. Innovations. Yes, I came up with innovations in line with education and all of that. So after about a year and a half, I had to still further my education. Remember that I didn't get into university straight up. I had to how do I say this now? I had to go to polytechnic. Then of course you have to further. When you know where God is taking you to, you don't just sit. You have to learn about it. You have to get educated for it. Now this time, when I wanted to cross into the university, in fact, it was a hard decision for me. You are wondering, how is it hard? Is it not just to enter school? It was hard for me because I was already attached to those children. I'm thinking, okay, what is going to happen to them? The person coming, will the person be able to handle them well? I can be very emotional, and there is another vlog on that. So you just have to subscribe to this channel. You just have to, stay connected, because I have a whole lot of things to gist you about, to tell you about. So it was a hard decision, but I had to go. I had to go to school. I had to go and learn. So if there is anything God has called you to do, get educated for it, study for it, because the desire is not enough. Having the knowledge, the basics is not enough, because there will be some places you will get to, and if you don't have your certificate, you are not just going to be relevant. So I took the decision. I got into school, and that place is another learning place for me. I learned a lot from there as well. I didn't know anything about lesson notes, lesson plan, class management and all of that. I didn't know anything about that. So school also opened me up to a lot of things. I saw different people, I met with lecturers and all of that. There was this time in school that we had to do a presentation. Of course, we wrote lesson plan, lesson notes and all of that, and everybody was supposed to present. It got to my turn. Hey, I walked confidently to the front. Of course, I dressed well, because I already had that training that being a teacher does not mean you should look wretched. You should look like somebody that tied the whole world to his or her chest. So I dressed well, got into the front, walked confidently to the front, spoke well, did everything I was supposed to do. Everybody was clapping. Even the lecturers were surprised that, who is this girl? I came in through direct entry anyway, so I didn't write JAMB, because I had already gone to poly, so I just entered through direct entry. So I joined them in 200 level. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have friends at that time. So but that presentation then, everybody wanted to be my friend. Yes, so even the lecturers from there, it took interest in me. I got comments like, oh, you are born for this, you're a born teacher, you are so good, all of that. And let me say this too, if you're good, you're good. Yes. So whatever thing you feel God has called you to do, just get educated for it, do it, learn more about it. Don't just sit there, don't just say, oh, this is what God has called me to do, and then you're not doing anything. You have to sharpen your skills. You have to. While in school too, the university, I was still working. I was still schooling and working. Like I've been working ever since. Like I've been working from my mother's womb. Yes, I was also schooling and working, but I had to stop at some point because it was becoming too much for me. I needed to focus on school. I needed to, just face my studies. Yes, so I had to stop at that time, and something happened. That is where I'm going. Something happened. I got distracted. In fact, I forgot everything about teaching. I got distracted. I wasn't teaching anymore. I had just forgotten all about it, because I wanted to face my studies. So I picked up a business before I got into any school. Anyway, right after my secondary school, I learned bead making. Yes, so I just started a business. I was doing business then. I wasn't teaching. I was just schooling and doing my business. I got distracted again. And the only thing I wanted to do was just make the business big. The only thing that was in my head was my school and the business. Now, the fact that you are called to do something does not mean you will not get distracted anyway. Yes, the fact that this is what you're meant to do, even if you're already on that path, you will still get distracted. So don't think that because you are, I know what I'm called to do, this is what God wants me to do, nothing can take me away. It's a lie. You will get distracted. So but don't stay distracted. In that process, I applied for a grant, a business grant, the Tony Elumelu Foundation. Yes, so if you're a business person and you want your business to grow, it is a grant you should apply for. It is still on right now. It is going to close on the 30th of this month, so you want to apply for it. It is a place where you're going to learn a lot from. I'm still a business person anyway, but not at the moment. So I applied for the grants. I started a journey in the process. I was really hoping that it was going to come through. Trust me, if that grant had come through, teaching what? I'm sure that I will not be making this video right now. So I applied for the grant, and the grant is such that while you're doing it, you would be assigned to mentors. All right, those that have applied and they've won, so they know how things run and all. So we were assigned to mentors anyway. So the person I was assigned to, in fact, I believe that God sent to me. He just took interest in me and we related very well. He would call me up with his own airtime. You know, it's something we could, he does the general mentoring online, but he would call me, we would talk. So he asked a question that really brought me back to my senses. He asked a question that brought me back on track. He simply asked me, what are the other things you do? And at that point, I remembered that, okay, I'm a teacher, I teach. How did I forget? How did I forget that I teach? Something so precious. How can I forget? In fact, I felt so bad. I beat myself up every time I remember, but it's all in the past now. It's all in the past. So, moral lesson, be around people that will always cause a reawakening, because that guy caused a reawakening for me. It made me remember. I know that it was God. It made me remember that I teach. Temple, you teach. And immediately, so at that point, I concluded that even if these grants did not come through, I'm not going to feel bad. I'm not going to cry. If this grant did not come through, I'm just going to focus on my focus. Yeah. So he brought me back on track. I remembered. Then thankfully, I was moved again from the department I was, from the choir department to the children's church. Can you imagine? So everything was just working together for my good. God wanted me to go back. This is what I asked you to do, not what you are doing. All right, so I got back on track. I started again. I picked up my boots. Now, another lesson you should learn is it's okay to want to explore. It's okay to do other things. Don't feel bad. You know, I've thought about this so many times that IBK, you have done this, you have done this, you have done this, you have done this. Now it felt like I am jack of all trades, but no, I'm just exploring. I'm just trying to find my foot. So it is okay to find your foot, because I believe that God has not called you to do one thing. Yes, God has not called you to do one thing. I believe so. I don't know what you believe, but I believe God has not called us to one thing. So it's okay to want to explore. It's okay to want to try other things. All right, but don't get lost in the process. Don't get lost. Yeah, so I got back on track, and here am I. So I had to pick up my boat, sharpen my skills, because it was getting rotten. I had to sharpen my skills. I was moved to the children's church at that time, and I didn't feel bad for them moving me. That's the thing. That is one thing that still surprises me. I was not crying why did they move me, because I was in choir. You know, imagine taking you from the choir to the children's church. I did not feel bad. In fact, I believe I was already having that feeling that I would soon be moved. Yeah, I was already having that feeling that I will soon be moved. And before you know it, I was moved. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful because everything was working together for my good. So here am I today in the profession. I'm finding fulfillment there. I'm enjoying myself. I find joy doing it. Another lesson: whatever God has called you to do, and whatever you are meant to do, you will do it with joy. It is with joy you'll be doing it. You're not going to struggle. You're not going to be, depressed, because it is what you're supposed to do. It is what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Was starting a business wrong? No. In fact, I'm still going to do that business. I'm still going to do the best. The business is registered. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. So I'm just waiting for the right time to launch it out. Yes. That is where the Unaware Doctor comes in. Fulfilling purpose does not mean you can't have business. You can, as long as you're not going to be distracted, as long as you're not going to, lose focus. As long as so you can have side businesses, you can choose to do other things you want to do, but the main thing is still there. Make sure that the main thing is still there. All right. Yes, so it's been a great time sharing my experience. Is it experience now? It's an experience. Sharing my journey with you. I had a great time. I hope you did as well. And I have so many other things that I would like to also share. So please subscribe, like, comment. Make sure you comment at the end of this video and give me a thumbs up. Tell me what you think about this video. Tell me other things you would want me to talk about. All right, thank you so much, guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye.